What on earth is going on with this whole Veneer Tech situation? This is literally ludicrous.
You trust somebody called a Veneer Tech to give you veneers, you deserve whatever pain you experience after that.
I got an infection, an abscess on both sides of my mouth, a whole infection going on. I found out she was not licensed.
Veneers are now the new BBLs. Your favorite influencer probably has them. It seems to be the standard in Hollywood now, and they've trickled down to us regular people believing that getting veneers gives them that special kind of look. That look that says, listen, I blew a bag to get my teeth to look as bright and as perfect as possible, but it's because of this popularity and this demand for veneers that has caused veneers to become the latest and the biggest scam. And people are now deciding to take advantage of the veneer hype. Instead of going to dental school for years, literally blood, sweat, and tears in order to provide dentistry to people, people are instead going to school for days in order to become what is now called a veneer tech.
Which is not a real position at all. And these people are going out there and literally destroying mouths.
People are advertising this veneer tech career as a quick way to capitalize on the hype with little investment and training.
I saw the video. There was this girl saying she makes $5K a week doing veneers as a veneer tech.
Veneer tech thing might be the deal of a lifetime until 5 years later and you got to get it removed by a real dentist.
The title veneer tech actually originated in the fraud capital of the world, which is Atlanta, Georgia, and it was created by a company called A-List Smile Atlanta, where they started a course, and for $6,000 you too can become a tech specifically trained to work on veneers. They're able to provide you not only a Canvas certificate showing you that you have completed the 2-day requirement, but they also provide you with the tools necessary in order to make this sort of money. But wait, don't worry. If you can't make it to a physical class, you can't make it to Atlanta or Georgia, there's a ton of learning options for your veneer tech dream career, like ebooks and online courses, as you can see here. So you don't even have to be in a vicinity of a veneer tech school in order to illegally play in other people's mouths. That's what brings me to my next point. Becoming a veneer tech, starting this dream career, advertising yourself online is illegal.
This is Title 43 of the Georgia Code. And right here below me, you can see that the statute basically states that anyone who practices dentistry in the state of Georgia without obtaining a license to practice in the state of Georgia can actually go to jail and face a massive fine for it. I want to remind you guys that veneers and braces are all a part of dentistry.
But it doesn't seem to have stopped these dental schools from popping up everywhere. And it's just crazy to me that people think that in 2 days, you will have the skills and the tools necessary in order to operate in people's mouths. People who are probably disadvantaged, who are looking for alternatives to going to an actual dentist, people who could have decay and disease. They don't need dentures by Denise or veneers by Vanessa slapping a veneer, a composite veneer on top of that, on top of their decay.
This guy has decay all over his teeth and he got composite veneers placed right on top by a veneer tech. And I'm not hating on it because it's a pretty dramatic change, but yo, those are just plastered on top of decay. We don't do that. That can cause so many problems and infections. You will be hard pressed to find a real licensed dentist who can pick up a handpiece to remove these because it's just Pandora's box. So all these people who are getting composite veneers that will stain, I guarantee you, within 5 years, who's going to take them off for you? Because those same veneer techs are going to be nowhere to be found because they don't have a license to operate. They have no license. A veneer tech is not an actual certification.
But it seems to be continuing and the veneer hype doesn't seem to be slowing down. It does seem like veneer techs are feeling super emboldened because of how popular getting veneers is. Every day there seems to be a new crop of videos of people advertising their veneer classes and their veneer work. They clearly are taking pride in their ability to create these new smiles for people. They'll even go as far as to tell you on their social media that they are are not dentists. They are veneer techs. They just went to a veneer tech school. And it almost seems as if this is to diminish their responsibility if something can go wrong. It seems like these classes are also teaching them if you do cheaper, lower quality veneers like composite veneers here in the States, you can obviously capitalize on this trend. Capitalizing on the trend and also diminishing your responsibility by having people sign waivers and being upfront that you're not a dentist. It's sort of a win-win situation for these people. Now, veneers on average can cost up to $1,000 to $2,000 per tooth, hence the reason why people are looking for cheaper alternatives. If they're not looking at going to a veneer tech, a lot of people go overseas to other countries in order to get this type of cosmetic dentistry. Veneer techs advertise their services at $1,000 to $2,000 typically, and it's very uncommon to see a full mouth transformation done by a veneer tech for more than $5,000, meaning you can get an entire mouth of, 46 teeth? 32 teeth? I don't even know how many teeth are in the mouth, but you can get an entire mouth of veneers for the cost of 4 or 5 teeth here that are actually properly done by a dentist in the States. But dentists in the States have spent a good portion of their life getting the training and experience to properly work on teeth. So it really just depends on your financial situation. It depends on the amount of research that you do and how much you care about your health. But despite the red flags of veneer techs, people are continuing to go to them. People like this woman, Spichelle Overton, who decided to go to a woman named the Veneer Fairy in order to get veneers on her top and bottom teeth.
Put these veneers on my mouth. I got a whole infection in my mouth and you talking about you ain't gonna run me my money? Okay. Facts.
I'm just going to say this, and I know this sounds terrible, but if you go to a person named the Veneer Fairy to get your teeth done, you kind of deserve what happens to you. You know up front that this sounds wild. This is not only on the face of it a wild situation, you going to a veneer tech who went to school probably for less than a week, but you're going to someone who calls themselves the Veneer Fairy. They don't even go by their actual name on social media. And during her experience, it went left from the very beginning. She noticed that the woman almost immediately wanted to get her out of her chair. She didn't really want to spend that much time doing her teeth.
So she like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. I ain't ate all day. I'm about to faint. The dude called her. It's like 9:25. He like, oh, I'm finna go to Longhorn. How long it's gonna be? Cause they close at 10 o'clock. She tells him, oh, I'm finna hurry up on her so I can meet you there before they close. So I'm like, you finna hurry up.
And in the beginning, she did let her know that she needed a partial, meaning that she had a few teeth missing. She was going to have some sort of partial put in her mouth in order to supplement that.
She sit me back up and say, I just want to tell you that it's a possibility that glue might get on your partials and they might get stuck in your mouth. Now, at that point, I didn't know that partials was supposed to come in and out. I just found out that they wasn't even supposed to be glued in your mouth. That it's supposed to be something like if you get an implant, the partial's supposed to be able to come back so you can get your implant. So when she tell me that, I tell her, okay, but you're going to have to shave these down because I can't talk. She was like, okay, like I'm going to do something and all you got to do is adjust to them because they knew. Me not thinking, trusting her, I'm like, okay.
But during this first initial visit, the woman, Spichelle, basically complained about how the partial didn't feel right. It didn't fit right in her mouth. It felt bulky. And the veneer tech throughout this entire time was trying to convince her that everything was okay.
I ain't gonna lie, they did look good. They looked okay, but they didn't feel good. So I was like, okay, let me give her the benefit of the doubt because she the professional is dealing whatever she supposed to do. So I lead her.
Overnight, things get even worse and worse, and they start to escalate for Spichelle. And at this point, she said that she's ready to rip this entire situation out of her mouth.
12 o'clock at night, my mouth go to hurting so bad, y'all. Like I'm in tears. I'm taking hydrocodone. I'm like, oh my God, something going on. But of course, I didn't call her at 12 o'clock because I'm like, it's nothing that she gonna be able to do. I know the office ain't open. But as soon as 8 o'clock came, I text her phone. I say, listen, These things got to come out of my mouth. I've been up all night. I haven't been able to drink. I wasn't even able to drink a smoothie. I said it feel like my mouth is inflamed. I don't know what's going on, but these partials got to come out of my mouth. She tells me, I'm going to see what I could do because I got a doctor's appointment. I'm going to see if I can make it over there. I told her, I don't care if you got a doctor's appointment. I got to get these things out of my mouth. I'm like 2 seconds from going to the emergency room.
And then she ends up showing up at her office around 10 a.m. This is the part of the experience that sounds completely horrifying.
She began to try to drill these things off my teeth. She like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. They stuck on your mouth. So she drilling, and I'm pulling them. She never numbed me up. I'm pulling these things like, get these things out my mouth. It took her an hour. She drilled these things for an hour. Finally, she say, before that happened, let me back up. Before that happened, she say, you might have to go to the ER because I think I'm going to pull your real teeth out if I keep pulling them like that. I told her, one point my sister said, stop pulling the teeth because you're going to pull your real teeth out. At that point, I was in so much pain. I was like, I don't care. I screamed. I'm over it. When she did that, I said, let me stand up and see if I can pull it myself out. Let me try to pull it out myself. So she got this little mirror and a sink in her office. So I stand up over the sink. I'm like, let me try to do it myself. Because sometimes you can put pain on yourself better than somebody else can. I say, this is going to be my final attempt to try to get these partials out. I say, if I can't get them out, I'm going to have to go to the hospital. At this time, I wasn't even talking because they was dangling. They was halfway out, but they was stuck on my real teeth. They was dangling like she had put some super glue on there. I don't know what type of glue she used. So I'm standing in the mirror. I take my hand and I'm like, count, and I pull them out. When I pull them out, she like, oh my God, let me see. She's so nervous. I was nervous. My sister looking like, I don't know if she done pull her teeth out. What done happened? So at this time, she like, oh my God, I'm so glad you got them out. I was so nervous that you was going to pull your teeth out. Oh my God. So at this time, I'm like, I got to get out of here. I'm still in pain. You just don't pull at that point, I didn't know whether my real teeth was gone or what.
After she leaves the Veneer Fairy's office, she realizes that she has an infection and an abscess in her mouth, and she has to deal with that situation. On top of it, she's missing all of her veneers. She's missing her partial. She's worse off than she was when she started.
Because at that point, she was like, it looks like what I'm going to have to do is get somebody else to shave them down, and then you could come back and I'll put them in your mouth, and this time I won't glue them in. So I'm like, man, I'm finna go. I don't even want you to touch my mouth. So when I get down the road, I'm still feeling like my mouth is sore and inflamed. Find out I got an infection, an abscess on both sides of my mouth, a whole infection going on. I text her and I tell her, I'm not going to be able to come. That same day. I left her office maybe about 3:45 because I had to pick my daughter up from school. I leave her office. I text her at 4:30. I said, I'm going to the emergency room. I'm not coming back to you. I'm not going to be able to come back.
And then she starts talking to the Veneer Fairy almost immediately about a reimbursement and getting at least 50% of her money back.
I asked her, what can we do about a reimbursement? She did not want to respond, so I called her. I said, I know you got my text. What can we do about a reimbursement? I said, at this point, you could give me half my money. I didn't even ask for it all. I said, because you did have good customer service and you did try to get them out, but you was unsuccessful. You didn't have the tools that you needed to get them out. I had to pull my teeth out with these things. Like, what can we do about a reimbursement? Because at this point, I got to hire a dentist. I got to pay for my antibiotic. Like, I done got too many bills in less than 24 hours. What can we do? She said, let me call you back. I got to figure something out. So I said, back. That's fine. 12 o'clock, mind you, that was like 8 or 9 o'clock the next day. 12 o'clock roll around, she hadn't responded. When I was getting ready to call her, she texted me. And she said, due to you signing a consent form, it's nothing that I could do about that. The only solution that I have, I was really trying to work with her. She said, the only solution that I have for you at this point is to get them shaved down and we try it again. Why would I let you put these things in my mouth when I got an infection? Why would I let you take me back through that when we just went through this pain? I said, that's not an option for me. I understand that you got policies, but that's not an option. You caused me to have an infection. I don't want you putting your tools, your hands, your super glue. I don't want none of that in my mouth. So that's not gonna work. She tells me, well, she has tried numerous times to offer me a chance to come back to her office, and I have refused. So at this point, have a blessed day. You gonna have, girl.
It's wild to me that she reiterates in this story over and over again about how the Veneer Tech had good customer service despite all of this happening. Like, the expectation of someone helping you get a device that they have created a problem for you with out of your mouth is the bare minimum of customer service. That's not good customer service. That's just being a decent human being. That's just being a normal person. It just seemed like in the story, at no point was she getting the level of care and service that she deserved. The Veneer Fairy from the very beginning was complaining about how long it was taking during their first session together, wanting to get her out of a chair, basically wanting to go and get some food. There was a guy that was randomly coming in and asking for payment. She now has a GoFundMe up where she's asking for donations to undo what's been done and do what needs to be done. This is a perfect segue to lead me into how Veneer Fairy and these techs are able to limit their liability. So the reason why this has happened and the reason why they feel emboldened to do this sort of quality of work and run out and go to Longhorn Steakhouse with your money and not really care about what happens to your health is because a lot of times when you're signing up for procedures with these Veneer techs, they have limited liability. You are signing up for these services and you're signing a document, a waiver that basically says if anything goes wrong, and chances are probably will, at the very least your veneers will come out of your mouth more than likely. They are not responsible for what happens. Situations like Spichel's case are sad, but as the Veneer Fairy told her, she has a limited liability and she is not required to give her any sort of money back. I think that's what also makes going to a Veneer Tech so dangerous is nothing is stopping them from ruining your health and ruining your teeth at a bare minimum. And because they aren't licensed, they're not going to lose anything out of the situation, but maybe a day's worth of work. People have brought up the fact that maybe they could be charged by the Board of Dentistry and they could have some sort of legal ramifications if something like this happens. I have only really seen a few cases of this happening, and this is because the person set up a business and they had a lot of clients, a lot of different types of clients, and they were doing a lot of work outside of just veneers. They were also doing braces as well.
Monica Davis turned herself in to Schaumburg police. Investigators charged her with practicing medicine without a license. That's a felony.
I haven't heard of any cases of a Teeth by Tanya or anyone like this being actually pursued by the Board of Dentistry. And this brings up a really interesting point because the Veneer Tech trend seems to be overwhelmingly affecting marginalized people and people of color. And we all know that when these trends happen and they are negatively impacting these groups of people, people tend to turn a blind eye to situations like this because it doesn't affect majority of people. It doesn't affect white people. I'm not white, but this part of my hand's white. You know what I mean? Even the people that are okay with their teeth on TikTok, they're being analyzed left and right. Now is not the time for you to be posting your cosmetic dentistry done by Dentures by Danielle because they are going to analyze your case. I mean dentists, and they're going to let you know why your bite is off and why your teeth are actually off. So even if you think it looks good cosmetically, it probably isn't. So I'm only ever seeing the negative sides of getting this sort of cosmetic dentistry done cosmetic. The only thing you can do is do your research if this is something that you want to do and at best, your veneers are just going to fall out of your mouth and you're just going to crack them on a crab leg or something. And I hope that that is the worst that is going to happen to you if you decide to go to a veneer tech. But we are seeing over and over and over again on social media that these veneer techs are putting veneers on top of decay and disease. And I only can imagine over time how many people are going to be looking back and just regretting that they even decide to hit up their veneer tech on Instagram. But let me know what you guys think about this veneer tech situation. Have you been to a veneer tech? Do you know anyone who has been, and what has their experience been like? What do you think about this trend? Drop down in the comments and let me know, and I will see you guys in my next video. Don't go to a veneer tech. Bye guys.